Hey folks, how are you? Welcome to the Woods Milling channel. So now today we're back here again trying to tackle this sawmill shed. So I had a video yesterday, I got it started. So change of plans on this thing. So I was originally going to try to do, I've got a 16-foot sawmill bed trailer. I can cut up to 16 feet. It's actually a bit longer than that, but so with the square footage that I need to abide by to stay under our building code allowance, so I don't need a permit, I figure I don't have enough allowance to be able to cover this anyway, and I don't need to. So now all I'm doing is just, I'm going to focus on sort of covering in the end, say down at the end where the power head's going to sit and it can stay covered. So just a lean-to down on that end. So that'll allow me to go a little bit further back behind it, which is good because, you know, there's a few tools you need kicking around when you have your sawmill, right? So I can have, you know, some shelving back there and, you know, have my gas, windshield washer fluid, you know, water during the summer, torque wrenches, stuff like that, right? So like I was saying, all I really care about is just having the power head covered out of the elements so I don't have to throw a tarp on it every time I use the saw. So we started digging another hole because where I dug my first one yesterday is almost useless. I haven't filled it back in yet. Maybe I'll do 3 posts along here. We'll see. I mean, it was a lot of work, so I hate to just fill it back in prematurely, so I'm gonna leave it for now. So I've got a new hole here. So this shelter is basically gonna start like just ahead of the first bunk there and, you know, come up there and then just a lean-to off to the back. So it should be sufficient. As long as it keeps the snow and the rain off of the power head, it's a success. Like I said, I'm not spending a ton of time on this. I just need it to work. I don't need it to look spectacular or anything. So, but I want to make it look cool anyway. So I'm using logs but I'm just going to use what's laying around. I have off-cut boards and stuff laying around. So I'm just going to kind of piece it together with all that stuff. Hard. That should be able to hold a log. That's all I needed to do, hold a log so I can bury it. So we'll try that. Okay, so we got 2 holes dug. Sort of the first 2 holes of where the main pillars are going to be at the front of the shed here. So 1, 2, we got 2 logs here. I'm going to try to give them a burn with the propane torch, just a little bit, right? Like I was saying though, I don't need these to last forever, but just to try to stop like full on rot, right? So I'll try to crisp them a bit. They're pretty freaking wet, especially this poplar log here. So I don't want to waste a bunch of propane on them. So I'll give them a quick shot if they seem like, even just to get the bottom so it's not soaking up in through the bottom, but I'll give it a try. I'm not going to use a lot of propane on them, and I'm just going to give them a glaze. Something might help a little bit better than nothing, right? So at least I can say, you know, that I gave them, you know, something instead of nothing, right? So, and then we'll try to get these in because Like I'd like to just get these two in and just, so it feels like I'm getting somewhere, like I'm accomplishing something, right? So I kind of want to just get these two in and then we'll continue on. Okay, so now we burned her up a little bit. I mean, like I said, ideally you'd want to do a deeper burn than that to do it up properly, right? But I'm not going to waste a bunch of gas. If I was building this thing to last and whatever, you know, I would. And I will do that in the future. Right now, I'm just looking to get a structure up and get the tarp off of this thing. So that's it. So I don't know, let's get this one in the ground. It's gonna take some freaking operator finessing, let me tell you. So we shortened that post down. Probably took a good, I don't know, almost 3 feet off of it. So we have about 2 feet of clearance over the power head. So that should be sufficient to run like a cross beam across, and then we'll just have our sloped roof on top. So I went with the bigger posts off the bat because I was originally thinking I could run it across the whole thing. And if I didn't have the township sort of building specs that I have to stay under, I would have done that. Absolutely. That's why I wanted those awesome big posts, right? It will look wicked, but it was overkill. It ended up looking like overkill to have that big a post just for sort of a head cover here. It's going to be too high and the weather is just going to go right in there. And so I had to lower it. So I got to lower this other log here now. It is now way too long. So yeah, we'll probably take 3 feet off of that as well. I think that hole's a little deeper. Maybe I'll start with 2 feet and, you know, have it at that. We'll put that one in. And then if I can hopefully maybe run some crossers today, like, would be good, because I don't know how stable this stuff is. Like, it's not that deep of hole, and the clay right now is just like soup, right? So there's not much freaking hold there. This clay, when it gets wet, it's nasty to work with. It's not very good stuff to work with, especially when it's wet. I'm gonna try to pound that in a bit with a 2x4 and hopefully get it a little more stable than that. But I'm thinking at least got to get that other post in, run the crosser, and then put a couple stabilizers on each post for now. Okay, so we got the balsam log shortened up a bit. It took a couple feet off of it. Burned it up what we can. Again, right? Like, ideally, if you're burying logs, like, you want to give them a good char, right? This isn't like a really good deep char, but it's better than nothing. So we're good to go. We got our hole already ready down there, so we're gonna take this over, get it up. I mean, this time of year, yeah, you're running out of daylight hours quick, right? Especially on a gloomy day. So I don't know how far we're gonna get today. So at least I know we're gonna get maybe this one pole in. And like I was saying earlier, if we can tie them in, if I can notch them, and I still gotta look at what boards I've got over there. I'm gonna need about at least about a 12-foot board. I think I might have a couple 14s kicking around, I'm hoping. Last time I looked, unless I used those for something, I can't remember. I almost have a feeling that I might have used those for something. We'll see. If there's something around, I'm gonna tie these two posts together and then just kind of get them braced for tonight. And then hopefully, I got a job tomorrow, so hopefully this week we can get this sort of framed and ready for a roof by the end of the week, I hope. And then the next part will just be the miracle of finding some roofing material. I've got a few old sheets of tin kicking around. It wouldn't be enough to do this, but I'll take a look online and see, maybe there's hopefully a little stash of used stuff kicking around somewhere. I don't care. I don't need it brand new. If it's got holes, I can fill them. It's not a big deal. So anyway, let's get this one in. It's actually pretty freaking nice out right now, folks. It's the most sun I've seen in, I don't know, it's been days for sure. So we're pretty good. Like, these are pretty lined up pretty good. I'm happy with that. I think these are probably stable enough. I don't think I see those falling over, especially now that I've shortened them. They're not as top heavy as they were. I'm gonna go take a look and see what I got for, because yeah, I need at least, I think, 12 foots across here. So like, these aren't gonna go anywhere, even though this wet clay is like super soupy and that. They're kind of suctioned in. I mean, they're not gonna fall over. I'm not worried about that. So anyway, we'll go take a quick look. If we have some boards ready, I'll bring them over, see what our daylight is. I go take a look, and we'll get back and see what we find. Took a look for some beams there, and there's nothing kicking around that the length that I'm looking for. Basically, it's 12 to the outsides of those. Then I want probably like a foot overhang, and just to have that, right? So 14 is what I kind of want to use on there. I could Frankenstein some offcut stuff together that I have, but whatever. I've got the mill. I'm probably gonna cut something up. I want to use kind of something square. Like, I could just use a log sort of rafter across there, but with the taper and that, it's just kind of finicky, right? So I kind of want to just get this thing done. So I'm gonna end up just notching those, like square notching off, and then I'll manufacture a 14 beam for across there, and then I'll do the same on the back. So anyway, hopefully we can get to that, get that done this week. And if this thing could get done by the end of this week, oh man, I'd be thanking my lucky stars, and it'd be real nice. So I hope that happens. Anyway, folks, if you checked the vid, hope you enjoyed. Hope you at least maybe learn something or pick something up, you know, some way in what I do and process. Like I always learn off people, other people off YouTube. You always learn something, right? It's up to the individual. Like, there's always something to pick up and sort of incorporate other ways to think about things and thought processes and how you go through stuff. So anyway, folks, till next time.